All right, here we are. This is it. We're finally back here. What's going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing very, very fine. Just going to give everyone a second just to jump in, see if anyone's here. Otherwise, find out if I'm talking to myself or if there's going to be anyone here to chat to. So we'll just give it a second. If you're here, make sure you say hi in the comments. Let me know. Otherwise, we're going to get straight into it. And I need to know if people can hear me. I need to know if things are working. Can you see me, hear me, all that jazz. So let us know if you're in the chat. All right, so it looks like we're getting some people coming in now. I've got 4 people. If you're here, do say hi. Let me know who's here so I can see who I'm talking to. But the purpose of this stream is we're going to go basically through a check-in of what's happened for January 2021 across everything in life, I guess, just with the YouTube, with the running, with the reselling, and some of the other things in my life as well, some of the passion projects. So very excited to share. It's kind of this is my second live stream I've ever done since September, actually. So it's been a while. Hey, babe, I've got the support from Carla. That's good. I'm assuming you can hear me, Carla. And John, thanks, mate. Loud and clear. That's good to know. That's good to know. All right. Well, now that people are jumping in, I will give it a bit longer just to give everyone a chance. Hey, the 2 Aussie thrifters. It's so good to have you guys here as well. Thank you for joining. I'm hoping that nothing cuts out. We're about to get a whole bunch of wind come through here in Melbourne, and always when it's windy, the Wi-Fi starts to cut in and out. So we'll see how we go. It will be interesting. Oh, this is great. I'm excited to have people join. It's always one of those things you think, well, if no one's going to join, what do? I just got to do the video as if no one was. I mean, as if people were here, right? So, but now that I know people are here, it does make it a lot more exciting and makes you feel a bit more motivated. That's for sure. All right. Cool. All right. Well, let's get started. We'll let people jump in as they come. We've got 5 people here, so it's all good. Slow start, not a problem. And let me set the context. So as I mentioned, the whole purpose of this stream is if you guys haven't seen it or haven't heard, for anyone that's watching this in the replay. So if you are watching this as a replay, let me know in the comments as well later. But the purpose of this is essentially I released a video on the 11th of January, which was called "This Is It" and taking a chance on me, where essentially I basically stepped away from my job, taken a career break, and just wanted to focus on some of the passion projects and some of the ideas that I had. And one area which I wanted to be very transparent in, and I guess honest and open and authentic with, was trying to give progress updates and share what that journey looks like, how I'm going, how I'm feeling, and all that jazz. And there's probably 3 or 4 areas of those those things that I really want to focus on. The first one being around my YouTube, right? And it's going to be interesting to have a look at the analytics, is what we're going to look at first. But to see how much the analytics have changed since prior months to January, because January I've been dropping 3 videos a week compared to just doing almost 1 a week. So that will be interesting to see. We'll then be touching on my reselling, how that's going, getting started with eBay and all that jazz. We'll touch on the running as well, and then we're going to probably touch on just around my business as well. I'm wanting to build out my business further, which is Furrii, and how the podcast is going as well. So that's what we're going to be chatting about today. Whether you're coming in at the start, the middle, at the end, in the replay, there will be timestamps, so you can jump around and use the timestamps in the replay as well. So let's get straight into it. We're going to jump over to the analytics. So you should be able to see that on screen now, and we're going to refresh this and see what it is real time. But look, January has been just totally overwhelming in many areas, but the analytics for YouTube have just been wow. And hopefully everyone can see this on screen, not too bad, but I will read it out. So at the moment, we're 675 subscribers. We've basically increased 58 subs in the last 28 days. Big shout out to Diary of a Flipper, because a lot of about 50 of those came from him. So it's been really good, but also the reselling community as well. So that's been really great and supportive. But looking at the views, you know, we're up by 100%, and watch times up by 155%, which is just incredible. It's just great. And my recent videos, you know, ranked number 3 at the moment. Everything's all green. I'm getting some really good impressions, and also some nice average watch time as well. So that has been super overwhelming, just very exciting. And it's always good to have these small wins, just because it motivates you. It encourages you to keep going for what you're wanting to go for. So that's super exciting. It really is. We're going to jump over to January, and you can see it here straight up that January has actually for the last 12 months, it's almost been double. You know, if we look back in January, we did about 2,000 views, and in this year we've done 3.2. But you looking at this trend, we've really done some wonders. And I mean, I've put the videos up, but you guys are the ones that have come, watched it, and commented and liked, and really been here for the views, and also for the watch time. Watch time is up as well. I obviously had a peak when I did my backyard marathon, which you can see here. But then going in January, I mean, obviously releasing more videos brings in more views as well and watch time. But it's just great to be able to see that straight in, as I've put more time and effort in, I'm getting the results that I want to see. And then subscribers as well, we're starting to see that grow up very quickly, which is very positive and very supportive. So it's yes, very, very much. I totally agree, guys. It's you know, I mean, I've been tracking my YouTube analytics for a very, very long time. I've been doing this for, I think this is my 5th year, and you know, it's been very slow, but it's been a lot of fun, and I've learned so much. And at the end of the day, you know, I'm 5 years in, and I'm still doing it because I love it. And you know, as much as I want to be able to get that watch time and get those subscribers, that will come eventually, regardless. If anything, I'm just continuing to learn, and I'm only going to get better as someone on camera and talking like this, but also someone that just knows, you know, how to do YouTube. So it's an exciting process. And exactly, Matt, it's patient that wins on YouTube, and I've been very patient. But no, it's all good. And funny story, I've actually, you can't see it here, and I'll show it maybe for my full analytics, but I've actually been monetized before in my past, before they brought in the whole you know, rules and regulations that you had to be 1,000 subs and 4,000. So I've actually earned $16 over the years. I had some videos that went really high, and I earned, around $16 back in the day. So, you know, look, I have been there. It was exciting, but obviously things change, and it just means you have to you know, adjust to it. So, and that's okay. So we're going to quickly just jump in a bit more of what were the top videos for this for January, and a lot of it has been a combination of the running. Surprisingly, I'm still getting a lot of views on my Melbourne Marathon for 2019, which is still a long way back. I don't know why, but it's obviously peaked because of the timing. My 2 bays, I recently did that race, which has, you know, that's hit around 496. This is it, which is the video I spoke about, which is basically, you know, why I'm doing this live stream. But the rest of it's really all the recent videos I've done this month. They're all basically being the peaked videos for this month, which makes sense, right? So that's very exciting. Reach wise, you know, I'm getting huge impressions. My click-throughs going up. My views are going up. Everything's going up. It's showing green. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in Feb, how it compares to January as well. I'm very, you know, I like the numbers. I'm a data freak. I love all that, and because it tells a story. And I'm not going to spend all the time and try and deep dive, but one thing I always like to share is the engagement. And I've been very, I guess, one to use timestamps. If you're not using timestamps, I highly recommend it, because it really does tell you what people are interested in looking at. And, you know, this is just some videos from the last 365 days where people have, you know, been retained for a very long time. But if you look down here, you can see where there's some spikes. Now, this spike right here, it's telling me that people are clicking here, because it means no one's here, and then all of a sudden people are here, which means people are clicking, which means you can go back and have a look in that video and find out, well, what's causing people to click? What are people clicking, and why are they jumping? Right? And it says it here. There's a spike right here. If I was to jump into the video, it would actually tell me what my timestamp is, and it would tell me that, you know, maybe, you know, we're doing jump shots or something. I don't know. It could have been anything, but it's something always interesting to look at. If you look at my 2 bays, you can see as I've gotten closer to the end, that's when people have clicked. They've watched from the start, they've kind of dropped off, they've clicked when we've started, and then they've clicked all the way over at the final hoorah, which is basically the finish line. So similar, if we look at potentially like what sold video, same thing, people jumped in, disappeared, then they've jumped across, and then, it's kind of staggered down. So this helps tell your story, and it also helps you understand, well, maybe what do I need to change, or what's the type of content people want to see. So at the same time, it could butcher my analytics, because if I'm saying click here to see everything or the results, well, people might just jump straight to the end and I don't get the watch time. So there is a bit of a catch-22 there, but I don't want to just force people to stick around for 20 minutes or 15 minutes. If I can give them that information, then I'm more than happy for them to jump in. So yeah, it's been pretty good. Audience has also grown. One thing which also I like to share in my analytics is checking on watch time from subscribers. So at the moment, we're basically 50-50, 52% not subscribed, 47% subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, help me out. Hit that subscription button. It does help out the channel, of course, as I've kind of just explained. But this is all very exciting. It's very good. And what was very interesting is I'm getting an average of 2 views per viewer, which is nice. It means people are jumping around. Hey, we've got someone else joining. Modern Vintage Rack, how you going? Thank you for being here. Really do appreciate it. At the moment, we're just going through some analytics. If you've probably just heard, and just talking about how I've kind of gone for the first month of really, I guess, jumping in. Well, yeah, you could probably think full time into trying to build out my YouTube and the reselling and focusing on running and my business and whatnot. And we were just discussing that it's interesting to see that people that are watching my channel, they're watching, I'm getting 2 views out of people, whether it's on the same video or maybe, they're jumping onto other videos. So that tells me a really good story, because it means people are wanting to jump around and stay on the channel, which is, it's encouraging. It's very encouraging. Subscribers we kind of already touched on. So look, that's the analytics. And if anyone's got questions along the way, please drop them into the live chat, and I can jump to them if I see them straight away. Otherwise, I'll address them at the very end. Otherwise, if you're here for the replay, put a comment and I can address that later as well. But in recap, I mean, the channel analytics have been I'm totally overwhelmed. It's very good. It's very exciting to see this, and we're going to touch a bit more on some of the goals and what I want to get out of YouTube very soon. But yeah, thank you so much. I mean, if you're watching this, you deserve a thank you. So all right, the next thing we're going to touch on that I wanted to share with everyone is kind of around jumping into the reselling world. And if you're new here, context, I've always been a bit of a reseller, going to the op shops and just selling things, flipping things here and there, but never at a full-time capacity, or never really enough, to be honest. I probably was selling things every blue moon, or if I found something, I would just flip it. Whereas as I've taken the time away from work, I decided, well, I really want to do this because I really love it. And this has really been the first month that I've kind of jumped all of a big focus. And one of the numbers that I'm going to talk about is, some of the goals I had around trying to do daily listings, and then, how much I've been able to potentially make in terms of sales per day and revenue and opportunity. And there's a whole bunch of numbers up on screen, but I'll walk you through this. But essentially, I've put these stats starting from the 11th of January, because that's when I kind of, I came out of holidays, and that's when I was going full into the picture. So I'll just highlight on screen here. But essentially, what I've always wanted to be trying to aim for, at least January, was have a daily goal of doing 5 listings. And that's on average. So it might mean I'm not doing 5 every day. I might do 10 on one day and 0 on the next day, kind of thing. And you'll be able to see that all here of how I've kind of been doing that. But, I had a goal of 5, and I've been able to come out averaging around 8 across the entire month, which is pretty good, because I'm not really doing it on weekends. And it also means that I've got enough inventory to be able to come back and make sure that I can do this. Actually, I've got way too much at the moment. I've got a huge backlog, but it's good. It's encouraging. And it means that I can probably push for a little further, maybe for February. As you can see, I've started off strong for the first couple of days, actually for the week. And then I've, weekend, and then it's been a bit slow. And then did some smashing days and then quiet and then, built it back up. And that's because I do have certain days where I go out sourcing and certain days where I just stay home and list and certain days where it's a bit of both. So I've done well there. In terms of what I wanted to do for revenue, well, I didn't really have any goals. I've just been tracking it on this view to kind of like keep me honest and keep me motivated. And basically I'm averaging a sale a day, which is nice. And in terms of revenue or sales, it's coming in around $63 per day. Hey, Drew and Sarah, thank you. I can see you here. No need to say sorry at all. That's it's all good. We've all got lives. So we're just going through some of the goals that I had for January for some of the listing. And just quickly to recap, the goal was 5. Been averaging around 8 at the moment, and for January from the 11th of Jan to the end of Jan. And revenue wise, I didn't really set any goals. I kind of just wanted to I really just wanted to see what I could do. And what I've been able to do is actually come out with an average of around $63 per sale, averaging 1 sale per day, which is nice. The other thing I wanted to focus on in terms of keeping me motivated and just, keeping that momentum was looking at the added value that I was able to do. And that's in this column over here. You can see that how much I've been able to add to the store in terms of stock or value, and basically averaging around the $357, $360 of, inventory or opportunity to be sold, I guess, into the store. And I did purchase an eBay store as well. Well, if you say purchase, or I've subscribed to an eBay store to bring down some of the fees as well. So, I've got opportunity to put up to 600 listings. So I really need to get as many as possible up there. At the moment, I've only got, well, at the end of January, I would have had around 174. I think at the moment I'm sitting at 230 or 250. So, I've still got a long way to go. But looking at all this, if we look at the numbers again, it's the margin is around 50% basically. This is just between 11th of Jan and the 31st of Jan. So, daily revenue being around $63, that was basically telling me, and I use this to try and compute each time I'm adding stuff or getting a sale to tell me, what's my potential sales going to be for 30 days. And based on these numbers, it was predicting around 1,900. Which meant, potential profit per month, with a margin of 50% meant, potentially $950 profit. Now we didn't end up being there. We ended up being quite lower than that, 681, I think it was in my what's sold video, but that's okay. There was some lessons learned there around costs, and I was very excited to be able to, find those out. Cameron, what's up, mate? Thanks for being here. Appreciate jumping in. And I just seen Drew as well. Great. Yeah. And it's very true. That's how I'm a numbers guy. I like to keep motivated and I like to see things. Now, all this stuff is obviously on eBay as well. I can look at these numbers here, but by me going and tracking these things down, as I kind of mentioned in some of my routines and systems and processes, it helps me see tangible results. And then when you do get that little sale, I get to jump in here and say, I had a $20 sale today. And it's just nice to see, right? It really does help keep that momentum. It's not going to work for everyone, but for me, that's how it works. So that's really been, January in terms of, I'm not looking at what sold. I'm just looking at from starting from the 11th of Jan to the 31st of Jan. I've been able to be successful in meeting my daily goals of listing. Originally, I actually wanted to do 10, but, I was realizing, as you can see, I did 10, 7, and 12 for the first couple of days, but it was tough, right? And I realized that I had to fix my sorting process, how I was storing things, and I'm still getting that down pat, but it's exciting. It's fun. There's a lot to learn, and I'm enjoying the process. And exactly right, Cameron, it's progress. That's exactly right. And that's what it's all about. Progress it's key to have progress. And looking at this, I can see I have progress, and that's what it's all about, keeping me honest as well. So the other thing I wanted to kind of touch on while we're on this screen and coming back to briefly to the YouTube analytics we touched on at the start was, one thing that I have a big goal on is I want to get to 1,000 subs, right? Not that it's going to necessarily change anything, but it's just a milestone I've always had ever since I started YouTube years ago. And, I started tracking my subs on the same level as this. I've got it in another tracker on here as well, but I've just moved the data across here. Is basically I want to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of March, and At the moment, I'm only averaging around two subs per day, which is okay. You know, it's a lot better than what it was previously. But in order for me to get to where I need to be, because I'm sitting at what am I sitting at? Yeah, around 675. I need to be averaging around 6 per day. So I've got a long way to go, but it's starting to happen. Hey, mate, Dover Flipper. I was just chatting about you before that in some of the analytics for this month, I've grown about 58 subscribers. And I said, there's probably about 50 of those, maybe not 50, but majority percentage of those have come from you on your live stream. So a big thank you to you, mate. Really do appreciate it. Good stuff. All the current email. Yeah, they're all coming. It's great. It's good stuff. Thanks for being here, guys. Yeah, so I'm just for those joining. Yeah, I was just chatting about that. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by March. I think that's doable. I'm trying to push out content, not to force it to happen, but content that I think is feasible. And based on the numbers that I'm seeing, because you get some days where you jump and some days where you get negatives, and then all of a sudden, up, down, left, right. So I think it's possible. At the moment, if nothing was to change and I continued my daily average, I would basically be hitting that 1K by around early July, which that's not bad either. That's a lot better than previously expected. Thanks so much, mate. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, it's exciting, and I think doing the 3 different types of content I'm doing at the moment around running, the reselling, and just life and routine and all that jazz. It's very exciting and it keeps it fresh. And there's going to be lots of other videos that I'll intend to do and spice it up and whatnot. But I'm loving it. It's great, and having you guys jumping in and supporting means the world to me. So thank you very much. Yeah, so that's some of the goals around the listing for February. I haven't really, dived into, what I want to try and achieve in terms of listing. I want to make sure I'm maintaining that 5. At the moment, my priority is getting rid of my def pile because it's quite bad. And today I actually, what I did is I had a big tub, a 50-liter tub of shoes, which I basically actually sourced prior to, doing all this, before January, and I knew that I had to clean it. So I got out there today. I got some gumption. I think that's what it's called. That comes from you, Matty from the Aussie Flipper. He told me how he cleans his shoes, and finally got to it and got the toothbrush out, the brush, the gumption, and started cleaning them up. And they've come up really nice. They're really, really clean, fresh, and they just look like they're sparkling. So listed all that today, and I actually had a huge good day in terms of listing. I was able to get 26 items up, around $906 worth of value. Obviously, it's not in this stats because it's part of February, but trying to start the month strong, riding the wave of, what I've been able to achieve in January. And if anyone's watched my, hey, Sarah, thanks for joining. Really do appreciate it. I'm just seeing some of the comments as well. Yeah, yes, yes, Cameron, I need to get that pile. I've got a lot there, but if anyone saw my, what's sold for January, there was some things in there where I talked about, there's some costs that I need to fix, and there was other lessons that learned as well. But also just, I've got so much stock. Like I've probably got still a good 200 items I need to list. And, if I don't get them up, they're just sitting there with no opportunity to sell. So I need to really double down, and seeing the numbers that I've done for January, it helps me see the possibility and the opportunity I can continue to do. So now that I've shown what I've done in January, I've kind of given myself that little boost and that push to, really see what I can prove to myself and see what I can do for February. Plus I get to show you guys if I can step it up or not as well. So it's exciting. It really is exciting. So, who knows what Feb will contain, but I am trying to, kick it off with a big bang and see what I can do there. So yeah, that's the stuff around eBay at the moment. Look, as I said at the start, as people join, if you do have questions, chuck them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll address them at the end as well if I don't see them straight up. So the next thing I wanted to kind of touch on is, briefly before I jump into the running stuff, is actually just some of the goals around the reselling business. Is I haven't necessarily set specific numbers, and what I want to be able to do is, because I've seen my potential is around 1,900 that I think I can do on a monthly basis. I I think my current priority is bringing down the costs, because in order for me to really understand what my sales targets or necessarily profit targets can be, I need to start to, smoothen out some of those processes, whether it's, how I'm, sourcing and then storing and then, listing, drafting, photography. And the big lesson for January was around the costing of mail and posting and a few other little things like that. So, being able to quickly take that and apply it straight away to February. I'm going to, if I've got about probably 20 DVDs listed at the moment, and if I'm going to be wiping off $4 to $5 per postage on those items, that straight up is going to be another $100 of just pure profit, not hitting me for costs. So applying those things straight up is going to be, my golden ticket. And then, ideally by 6 months, I want to be able to be taking away some profits, hopefully, which is probably half of what my income was when I was working full time, because I think then it's sustainable. But we're gonna touch on that as we go a bit further, and a lot of these numbers will come out in my goals for 2021 video, which will be across everything as I really flesh out what I want to achieve for this year. So you got a question from Cam. Oh no, it's not a question. It's just yeah. So what I do is take pics and leave in draft, then write description, later thoughts. Yeah. So the way I do my process at the moment is basic. Well, today, for instance, so I've got all my tubs outside under cover, and then opened up one of the tubs, and basically they're 50 liters. So there could be, let's say there's 15 items in there. Take out the 15 items, take the pictures. What I do is I, find the item that I want to sell. So whether it's, someone else has previously sold it, or I make a draft listing, get it up there, get the pictures in there, all that jazz. And then I do all that for about 20 different items. And then, later at night, I can just sit down, put some music on, or listen to a live stream, or, whatever, and just smash out those listings in just, one sitting. And yeah, then I would update the descriptions. I've actually got some shortcuts around, just some copy paste, some draft listings as well that I can just reuse. So I don't have to retype everything out. But I haven't really, and look, this is probably a good question for those that are in the chat as well, like Two Aussie Thrifters, Dover Flipper, Aussie Flipper and stuff, is, when you're actually putting content into your descriptions, and I've gone through some of your stuff as well, I've had sneak peeks, but, sometimes you guys have been very detailed, and sometimes you've been very, very generic as well. And one thing that I haven't kind of figured out yet is, is it worth my time putting a lot of details, or, we only do this, or, this is our policy or whatever, and putting that in the descriptions? Or does it just make more sense just put it as small, short and sweet as possible, unless there's like, a notable damage or something that you really want to call out to keep yourself safe? But I haven't probably had enough throughput to really determine if, there's going to be any difference made there at this point. But I've always, I've got a template that I just reuse for everything, and then just modify it slightly for different items. But Cameron, I think that works. If it works for you, it probably depends on how many items you're doing. If you're doing 3 or 4, probably not a big issue. But if you're starting to do 100, it might take a bit more time, and maybe it's just worth doing it on the spot rather than doing it again later. So yeah, a few things to think about there. All right, so we're going to jump into, I'm just looking at my agenda. Yeah, so we're going to jump into some running stuff. So look, if people are joining and they're probably thinking, oh, I'm not here for the running. Well, you'll probably be curious to hear this as well. So for those that are from the reselling community, I'm I guess a distance runner. Yeah, I guess that's right. Done two marathons, and looking into this year, I'm starting to think, well, what do I want to track? What do I want to achieve? And one thing that I kind of wanted to do was, really focus on what I can achieve on a monthly basis, not really focus on too much of the details. And I can see we've got some questions from Dove. I keep generic messaging now, list measurements and any noticeable issues, but it's short possible. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And then templates are still have, but got to find the process that works for you as well. Yeah, no, that's true as well. I think that's correct from both of you as well, because I realize different items I want to be very, whether it is putting measurements, and then some, like if it's a DVD, you don't have to put measurements in, right? So some of those things I'm learning what will work best. And then sometimes I'm, learning that, I probably didn't need to put that in. So I've probably changed my template about 3 times, and I've actually got 2 for depending on what it is. So that's good to hear from you guys as well. So thanks for that. Yeah, so for the running, last year I focused a lot more on the daily runs in terms of, what I was achieving, what my pace was for this run. Whereas this year I wanted to, focus more on building a better progressive state in terms of foundation and baseline. And I also have set myself a goal to do 1 half marathon every single month, along with everything else I'm doing. And I'm also going to be doing an ultra marathon for the first time as well later in the year. So basically what I've put here, if this is curious for anyone, is, and all this data comes from my Garmin anyway, so it's I'm not just putting it in, I actually pull it out and then just paste it here so it looks pretty. But once again, because I'm a numbers guy, I like to be able to see numbers that I want to see. I mean, I can see numbers on a dashboard from, someone's tracker or even for like YouTube, but if there's certain things that I want to see, I want to tangibly pick them up, put them where I want to see them so I can go there, and it keeps me honest. And it's kind of like just those little, it's like giving yourself a little treat because you can say, oh, I got this today, or I got this month. So looking at this, just rolling up what January looks like, I've done 19 activities, or I've done 144 kilometers in distance, and it starts to show my average paces and whatnot. Now, for 1 month in, it doesn't really tell me anything. But as I start to get to February, March, April, May, it's going to start to tell me a really good story. Well, sorry, it's going to tell me a story. Whether it's good or not will yet to be determined. But, I'm going to be able to start to see, well, am I trending? What am I trending in terms of, is my heart rate, going up? Is it going down? I want to bring it down this year. Is my pace changing while my heart rate's going down? Or is it, staying the same? So all that information will be very relevant, as I start to build a lot more, a few months in. And this is the kind of thing I want to be sharing on a monthly basis. And I think as I progress, more and more people might have more questions or ask different things, and I'll, be able to add to it. But I've kind of put my running stats, my half marathon stats that I'll be doing, and then, if I've done any races that month as well, which I did do the 2-base trail run. So I think this will be all interesting and for some, and I know some people in the chat, I mean, Diary of a Flipper, if anyone that doesn't know, because he was able to get me over a key milestone on my channel, he's committed to doing a 10K run while doing a What Sold, or a What Sold while doing a 10K run. So I know he's been training. So this has all of a sudden become very relevant for him, I guess. But I know there's a few other people in the chat as well that, probably runners as well, being, my channel is predominantly a running channel originally. So if you're, on watching this in the replay as well, let me know what you want to see in terms of stats that you would like to see on a monthly basis, because this is how I will share it, and I will spend, as much time as I need if there's more questions, or depending on how the chat goes and things like that. But this is kind of for me. I mean, this is all personal. This is the stuff that I'm using to keep me motivated, to keep me honest, and to drive where I want to be, and then to really dive into the data points. So all this is very relevant, whether it's around the stream, around the reselling data, around the analytics we went through at the start, and the running as well. Now, the other thing which, and I don't have anything on screen to show for this one, so maybe I'll just chuck up the, what will I chuck up? I'll just put this back up. My channel analytics. So, we've gone through the YouTube stuff. You can see on screen, we've gone through some of the reselling stuff, and we've gone through the running stuff as well. Thank you, Drew and Sarah. Really do appreciate that. That's really nice. Yeah, so I've gone through those things. Now, the other thing which is probably a bit of an elephant at the moment for some people is I've been talking around my other business in some videos and stuff, which is Furrii, Further Your Lifestyle. And one thing that my intention for this year is to really build that out, and I want to release a podcast, and I'm working on that. But, this is probably one area where I've struggled to keep up on already, because, I've been spending so much time in the reselling stuff. I mean, editing 3 videos a week. It's just getting into routine and getting those systems and processes right. Now, it's not an excuse. I've reprioritized. Like yesterday, Wednesdays is usually meant to be my day that I focus on working on my side business. And yesterday I realized, well, I still haven't done my tax for FY20, which is for Furrii anyway. So, what I did is I spent the day, did that, got that all done and dusted, because it's going to be something that's going to be overhead all the time. And in order for me to move forward, to make sure I'm fixing any mistakes, I need to continue, and I need to get that completed before I can continue on and fix or change, or I guess adapt my processes within the business from a taxing or accounting perspective as well. So, there is different things that I have to reprioritize and change as I progress through things. To be 100% frank and honest, I want to launch the podcast by the end of February, which is quite ambitious at this rate because I thought I would be a lot further. To date, at this point, all I've done is started to build out some branding messaging around informing some people of the changes. So at the moment, the brand, and this is probably very ambiguous or very broad to a lot of people, but the brand is all about, we're passionate about other people's passions, right? And we want to promote people's passions. And one thing that the brand has been is it's been an entity by itself. There's been no face. There's been no me. I'm everyone. I'm the Tom, Dick, and Harry of the entire show. So I'm the owner. I'm the marketer. I'm the guy doing the money. I'm the guy, chatting to people, trying to build partnerships. I'm doing everything. Whereas they don't know me for me. They just think of someone, maybe there's a team of 5 or something. So what I want to do is strip off that Band-Aid, just reveal to everyone who I am, what my intent is, pivoting the brand a lot, focusing more on the people and the conversations and their talents, their hustles, and all the different cool stuff that they're doing, and say that I want to move the brand away from trying to sell clothes and, that might inspire people, but, just have conversations with people that will inspire people. And I think that's going to be so much better. But in order to do that, I wanted to be 100% frank to show people that, I'm still building this, who I am, and make sure they're not feel like they're getting, a two-sided, conversation, or a wrong-sided conversation. Here I am saying that, you need to chase your passion, and they realize that, I've only just started doing this now, but I've been, not necessarily walking the talk. So, I want to rip that Band-Aid off and come clean and make sure that's very, honest. And, if that means people don't want to be part of or associated anymore, some of the partners and some of the ambassadors, that's 100% fine too, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure I'm, being 100% authentic with that. So at the moment, I've just been building out some of the messaging and some of the comms that will be going out to those folks, and then introducing myself in a bit more of a personal manner, showing them who I am, what the intent is for the brand to go forward, and what that would look like. And as I start to do that more and more, I want to share that on this channel and on this monthly update as well, to be able to give people an insight, a bit of an idea of what's happening, and how that's going, because everyone in their mind has an idea of what they want things to look like, but then there's the reality versus expectation. And Drew and Sarah, who are in the chat, they've just they've launched their Look Mum, I'm Hustling podcast, and there's plenty of other people that have podcasts in chat as well, and or been involved or have some understanding. And it's not easy stuff, right? There's a lot of time and effort into it. And I've been involved with other people's podcasts, and it's easier said than done, right? And as you can see, I've started to build out my backdrop as well. I've got the mic, I've got the nice, all that jazz, and that's just getting me into the zone also for the YouTube. But I also have to think about, well, what does it look like for the brand and for Furrii and all that jazz too? So, it's exciting, and it's the best way to learn is just do, right? And I think that's the key thing to take away probably from this live stream today, being the first of the month. The first recap of the first month for the year is it's all lessons, it's all learnings, it's what's working, what's not. And I'm sure in February I'll have a whole bunch of new things again. But that's what I enjoy about it, is as long as I'm progressing, and I'm always going to be progressing, but sometimes you don't see the progression that you want. And then sometimes all of a sudden it will just tick over. If anyone's watched, listened to or read The Atomic Habits, you'll know that, you can do things daily, and you might not necessarily see the result, but as you get to that 30-day mark, or as you get to that 6-month mark or whatever, that's when the compounding result just all of a sudden just pops up, right? And things will just happen. So that's what I'm betting on. That's what I'm playing on as well, playing the long game. But hey, we'll see. That's why we're going to be doing this, because in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, we'll start to see where some of these things will hopefully be compounding, and all those daily habits, or those pushing and those little actions that I'm doing, we'll see if they're paying off. And that's why I'm doing this, because 3 months from now or 6 months from now, I want to be able to show that, well, this has worked. or this hasn't. And if it hasn't, well, that's fine. I'm showing you that this is the reality of it. Or, we're looking back and thinking, wow, we're kicking butt. So I'm excited to have you guys along the way. Thank you so much, Drew and Sarah. I really appreciate that. And that's why I want to do this. I want to, encourage and inspire and help people, maybe take something from it to do their own things, right? Because, like I said, a lot of the time, it might look easy, but I know it's not. And, I don't want people to look at my, like my what's sold. And yes, there's all some nice numbers in here and stuff, but, I don't want people just to be seeing a highlight reel. I want to make sure that, I can share. It's not just a highlight reel, and there's ups and downs and there's things which don't work out. And this week I've actually been struggling with, giving myself a bit of a break around not trying to just do everything, right? I had so many goals or so many tasks that I wanted to get done this week, and I realized it's just not going to happen, right? I need to take time away and just focus on, in this case, it was getting the tax done, and then get that done. And then I can focus on the next big thing, because otherwise you're just going to get overwhelmed by it all and you're not going to be able to progress at all. But whereas that's why I like to be able to have little things that I can tick off. And though I might have only done 5 little things, it's better than not being able to complete one big thing, because the 5 little things will help me say, well, actually, I have achieved all this, right? It's not like I've just been sitting around doing nothing or whatnot. So I think that's, some encouragement to everyone else as well is, don't sell yourself too short, and, just really focus on some of the wins that you are getting per day as well. Thanks, mate. I guess we were. It's a very nice comment. I guess we'll find out. But I'm learning from so many people. I mean, today actually, I've looked at so many people's content. So 2 Aussie thrifters. I've been looking for your content today, just looking at how you guys are packaging and sending stuff. How you guys are potentially, I'm thinking about getting a label printer as well. And I was working out, well, how much time is it going to save me versus how much money is it going to save me? And, I've signed up for the Australian My Post because I'm now doing more than 8 sales. I mean, posting more than 8 things per week. And, I realized that, I should be able to pay that thing back in about 142 sales based on the savings that I'd be getting of, between 20% per item. So you're looking at it that way, and that's all exciting. And I love being able to look at those things and see it more of it like it's like a challenge or gamification or something like that. But you guys have all been so inspiring, from, Drew and Sarah's, very, love. Yeah, it's looking at what you guys can do with it. It's just amazing. But, I was looking at Drew and Sarah's content, how they did, how they rearranged their room and whatnot. And that was just like, that's so cool. I love seeing it. And yeah, that's the one I was looking at today, actually. Yeah, the Ford XL, where for every cent claim on tax, which is a bonus best thing. Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, it's only $200, right? So it's actually, I think it's $289, but I've already found it for cheaper, and I can get 10% or 5% beaten from office work. So hopefully I'll be able to get a bit cheaper. But the thing that I need to figure out is, So I'm just in the process. I literally just opened up my Australian Post business account today, and then I realized, well, actually, I'm not going to print these out manually because, well, one, I don't actually have my own printer. So if I'm going to do it, I may as just jump straight in with the Dymo. And then I was looking it up and, seeing how much I can, because yes, I can claim it on tax, but obviously I'm not going to get that for not till after June. So, but yes, I mean, it's not I think it's a quick win. And if I can have that from day one, or not day one, as early as possible, I think, it's going to make it well worth it, because I can just, get used to that process and it will wipe out. I think the 2 Aussie thrifties, you guys were saving about, I think it was like 30 seconds or 40 seconds per printout label that you were doing for 10 items or something, which, in the long run, and you guys were saving that on a process that you guys already had very down pat already. So if it was someone like it's a beginner, I'm going to probably save 2 minutes or something. So, I also use a standard printer for international. Oh, is that because the 4XL can't do international labels, or does it have to be bigger? Okay, this is interesting. Hey, mate, how you going? Thank you for being here. Really do appreciate it. It's funny, I've had a few people say, oh, usually they see me running, but here I am sitting down. Ah, right, I see. Right, okay. Well, there you go. Good to know. I haven't shipped anything internationally yet. I've got 3 items currently open to international, so I haven't sold anything yet. So that's all good to know. Alpha sells A for interns. Okay, right. Well, there you go. Jeepers. This is it. Lessons learned. It's great. It's been real cool. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. All right. Well, look. I mean, we're basically. I mean, this has gone a lot quicker than. I mean, it's already nearly been an hour, but I've kind of covered the 4 areas. We've gone through YouTube. We've gone through eBay stuff. We've gone through running, and we've gone through a bit of Furrii. But if there is questions, please jump in. If you're in the live chat at the moment, jump in, ask a question. If you're in the comments, make sure you do drop a comment. But I think just kind of recapping of how January is going. If people ask me, am I excited for January? They'll ask me this around, back in, December, when people knew that I was going to be stepping away from work, and I didn't know what to think, right? Because I didn't know what it would be like. And I think the number one thing that I've really learned that this month has been that my headspace, my just mentality has been just totally, it's great. It's hard to fathom because I used to use running as a way to get out and de-stress, detox from work or detox from just all the things in my head, whereas now I'm going out running and I'm not having to de-stress, but I'm actually having a clear head to think about, I want to try and do this, or I want to focus on that, or being able to really just have that time to myself and not having to de-stress. So I just feel fresh. I feel alive. I feel happy. I feel excited. I mean, people have been saying that in my videos as well. So I think if anything that I've learned this month is, just the freedom of a bit more time and just the smile and the happiness that's come with it. So it's been really exciting. And of course, I'm seeing results in all the areas that I'm working on, and I'm learning lots as well. So it's been very, very exciting. Am I running Sandy Point in Feb? I didn't even know Sandy Point was in Feb. Probably not then, no. Maybe I can suss it out. I don't even know what it is. I am doing, the next race I'm doing is the Warburton 25K, Warburton Trail Fest, which is on March 6th or 7th, I think it is. And we're doing the Redwood Forest Trail with Carla, and that's 25K. That's my next race. Sandy Point, no, I didn't realize they moved it to Feb. That's interesting. I'm looking to do, I don't know if you joined in time, but my goal for this year is to do a half marathon every month, which means whether it's a race or just casual. Sandy Point, they've got a half marathon. That could be an opportunity. End of month, I thought. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Yeah, okay. No, I'll suss out the Sandy Point so when it is, because it could be a good opportunity. Yeah, end of month. I thought we were in Jan. Yeah, no, I know it's crazy. I've been going to the physio, and my next appointment's in 4 weeks, and he said that's March, and I was like, oh my goodness, we're almost in March. It's like, anyway, we won't go down that trap. It would be good to see how you eat based around your running and training. You always have so much energy. It's just, look, that's look. Yeah, look, to be honest, my eating habits, I mean, it can always be better. I mean, I think everyone can always say that, but look, to break it down, through the week, weekdays, actually most mornings, to be honest, I'm having a smoothie after running. That's just banana, blueberries, coconut water, almond milk, Greek yogurt, cinnamon, maybe some cocoa powder, depending on what day, and honey. And basically that's 750 ml. Now, I've noticed that since I've stopped working full time and just focusing on my stuff, I'm not nibbling or munching or eating as much anymore, because I was probably doing it to feel good or to distract myself or to de-stress. So I was used to be having my smoothie, 750 ml, with 2 pieces of raisin toast in the morning. Not doing that anymore, just having the smoothie. That smoothie lasts me till lunchtime. For lunch, I've just been having, to be honest, I've actually just been having eggs and toast, and depending on, actually that's majority of the time. And then, I might snack for the day. It might be some nuts. We've been having a bit of banana bread, have an apple later in the afternoon. I have been having coffee. I have coffee every morning with my smoothie. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Have a coffee then, and I do have a coffee later in the afternoon as well if there's some left over. But look, no, I mean that there's nothing really special about my eating. And then for dinners, I'm kind of routine based. Mondays is salmon and veggies, which is great. Nacho night on Tuesday night. Wednesday is usually kind of have meat and veggies again. Usually probably like chops or beef chops or lamb chops. And Thursday, spaghetti, or it might be like a curry or an Indian dish or something like that. And then Friday, it's probably vice versa, depending what we didn't have on the Thursday. So very routine based. Weekends is probably when I stretch out a bit more. So Sunday nights with the family, we do fish and chips with the extended family as well. And then Saturday is kind of like depending, if I'm with Carla or not, we might eat out, or we might not either. So kind of depends. But I'm very routine based, as people would probably know. So I'm eating a lot of the same stuff, which it could be something which I need to think about as well, because having always the same stuff doesn't always necessarily be a good thing. But at the same time, the consistency means I know what's going to work and what's not. So if I'm going out for, like this morning, I did 7K run, and I didn't have anything before the run. I can do a 15K run and not have anything before it. I think Carla and I, we've probably pushed ourselves and maybe not eaten before a half marathon before, which is just a training run, not necessarily a race or anything. But yeah, most of the time, because of that consistency, I know what I need and how much I need before running and stuff like that. But no, it's a very good question, and it's probably something I can do a bit more of a detail on. Yeah, the meals does help, and it's not like I'm planning out, what proportions or anything like that, but it's probably just routine. And this is one of the things which I've always been a big advocate for, is it's a decision I don't have to make anymore. If I know that I'm having salmon and veggies on a Monday night, it's just easy to know for it. One, I'm excited for it, and two, it's just, I know what I'm having right now. Something like, so for tonight we had spaghetti, and sometimes I might have that on the weekend, but if I'm doing a race, I might rather have the spaghetti the night before the race, because it's carb loading. But the consistency does help, because it's one less thing to worry about. Have the smoothie. The smoothie replenishes me big time. It's 750 mils, so it's quite big. Look, some people hate routine and consistency, and I get a lot of people that giggle and laugh about that. But at the same time, it's one less thing I have to worry about. I don't have to be thinking, crap, what am I having for dinner, or what am I having for lunch, or what am I having for breakfast? It's just done and dusted. So yeah, it's definitely it's been a big win for me. You don't like salmon? Really? Is that you just don't like fish, or or it's just not for you? That's fair enough. That's fine. No problem, Mo. I don't like tomatoes. True story. I don't like tomatoes at all. This has been great. I really do appreciate everyone, coming out and jumping by. It's been a lot of fun, and there's probably some other things which I want to start to bring into this channel as well. I mean, into the live streams as well. And there's so many other areas, and I kind of mentioned it in my This Is It video. I kind of mentioned around, you've never done fish. Wow. Okay. Fair enough. That's fair enough, man. That's fair enough. Jeff, my man, how you doing? Long time no chat. Hope you're doing well, mate. All the way from South Africa. Nice stuff. Yeah, so in my, This Is It video, I alluded to that, play the drums, have my veggie garden and my chickens, and also, I like to do video games as well. And there's so many other stuff. As you can see, probably in my backdrop, I don't know how well you can see that, but I've got a whole bunch of different retro and different things there. Recently picked up this bad boy, if anyone's keen, just to kind of flex, with everything that's happening. I can see there's a big reflection. There you go. You can probably see it now. But, there was one nice comment that I got from Drew, which was around he would love to see me doing a what sold with my drums. And I've actually got some ideas around that. I really want to make that happen. I'm in the process of, actually getting all that stuff out of my spare room because the drums are actually underneath something. I haven't played them for so long, but I'm going to sell my drum kit and get an electric kit so I can start to do some different things at different times. And it makes it a bit easier for the ideas that I've got. So, stay tuned for that as well. And, I want to share a bit more around, some of the other different things that I love and enjoy, which is, video games and retro stuff. And, I'm a big Pokemon fan and all that jazz. So you'll probably see some weird and wonderful random stuff on the channel too, whether I'm talking about it here or talking about it, in another video. But super, super love, all the different stuff. And, a lot of the time, a lot of us all have very similar, things that we love to do and see and whatnot. But because I'm only sharing running, or because I'm only sharing reselling, or you guys are sharing those, we all have our different, hobbies and different stuff that we love to do. And if anyone doesn't know that, Jeff, he's a live streamer as well, and he streams on Twitch, and he's also a runner. So like, some, very common, things that we like to see and do and stuff. So it's all super exciting. And with the big craze of Pokemon lately, it's, it reignited childhood memories and stuff. So I've been jumping on that, and I'm still stuck between investing versus trying not to get stuck on actually collecting, because, it's going to be a slippery slope if I do that. But at the moment, just trying to focus on, maybe using it as a bit of investment and stuff. Which has been fun. It's been great to just watch other people, build out their childhood memories as well around the Pokemon and stuff. So it's very exciting. And I think now that I've got some of that freedom, I've always been very, in my running videos, I've always shared different things, but I want to try and bring all those elements together and just share them in whatever I'm doing, and not try and just be so focused on one thing, because I don't want to look like I'm just showing one thing. I want to, be an open book and show that we've all got some very exciting stuff. Yeah, Instagram brings so much nostalgia. Oh, well, thanks, man. Yeah, look, that's exactly it. Because I'm a routine junkie, as you'll notice, that I do a lot of similar posts. It's always the running or my picture, or it has to be the same way. And I'm starting to break that. I'm trying to break that. I guess it's a bad habit now of wanting it to be the same, perfectionism, but I'm trying to break that up and share different things. So, sharing some of the stuff around the Pokemon, and today I shared some stuff around the reselling, and really trying to break that up, and, just, not be scared to share different stuff as well, because, that was some of the comments I got when I started to change this stuff on this channel was, people, they might not be interested in seeing other stuff than running, and that's fine as well, right? But at the end of the day, I want to share a lifestyle. I want to share a journey. I want to share the things that I'm doing and loving. And majority of people have, realized that actually, we love this stuff too, or, that's very interesting, or doing similar stuff. So, my encouragement for that is, if you've got something that you want to share, share them. At the end of the day, people are going to either love it or hate it, regardless of whatever you do. So it is what it is. Like, what are you going to do about it, right? Groovy. I'm just looking at the stats. We've got 9 people in at the moment. Thanks all for being here. It's really cool. I don't know if people can't really see this, but I've got this screen in front of me, which is kind of, actually it's in front of here, but I'm looking to the side. And then I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 2 screens up here in front of me as well. And then I've got my iPad down here, and then I got my phone over here. So I've got so much stuff happening. It's just so I can see the stream real live, which I realized that I'm watching it on my iPad. So when you guys comment there's a delay on my actual StreamYard. It's kind of funny. Anyway, I'm babbling. Cool. Questions. Is there any other questions? This is your chance before I kind of start to take a wrap up. I've noticed, we're already at the, we're already at an hour basically, and I don't want to force people to stick around if they don't want to. So if you've got questions, now's your chance. If you're watching this in the replay, put a comment in if you want to see something, or for next time, or if you have a question, do let me know. You'd love to see my point. Yeah, well, actually, I've just put it up on my Instagram before I went live. If you want to have a look at it, but I can send you a picture afterwards. I'll send you a picture afterwards, Jeff. Do you use any Black Magic design gear for streaming? Nope, I don't know what that is. So at the moment, I've just got my Apple M1 and I'm using StreamYard, and I've got two screens mounted behind it. I'm using a Logitech C90 or something. I think it is 920 Pro, or I don't know what it is. It's 1080p, and then I've got my iPad to the side, just using 4G to just make sure I can see everything that's happening. I don't know what Black Magic is. Sorry. Said to have joined at the end, but no, look, it's all good, man. The timing for this was, it's very hard to do because predominantly my audience at the moment is still Australia. However, I know a lot of the people that are very, detailed in terms of commenting and stuff, they're not actually Australia. So it was hard to do, but I've got people in Canada, America, South Africa, UK, and Australia. So trying to find that fine line, it's a challenge. And maybe I'll spice up the different times as I do these as well to try and get people a chance. But Jeff, you popped in late. So at the start, we went through YouTube analytics that you can see on the screen. We then spoke about my eBay reselling and some of the goals there and the progress. And then we also went through the running, where I'm at with my running, what's coming up. And then I spoke around my side business as well, Furrii. And then we're just kind of been chit-chatting and just talking among the chat as well. So, I mean, it's great. It's been a lot of fun. You never know how these live streams are going to go. This is number 2. And I hope as I start to do this a bit more, well, at the moment they will be monthly, but I would love to do more of these as well, just to chat with you guys and have the banter, because I enjoy being able to just have these chats. It's just a lot easier when you've got something to talk about, and I'm realizing there's a delay, so it's kind of funny because I'm seeing all these comments come up here. Here we go. Here they come. This time is perfect though. It's my lunchtime when you went live. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's currently 10:30 p.m. for me on the 4th of Feb. So I don't know if that means it's still the 4th of Feb for you at lunchtime. It probably would be, I think. Fair enough. Take a look. They do everything for broadcasting. I work for... Oh, okay. Oh, cool. All right, I'll have a look then. Interesting. Maybe I'll chat to you offline. That's cool to know. Small world. There you go. I had no idea. Okay. Thanks, man. Thanks for the mention. That's I'll have a look afterwards. Okay, there you go. Yeah, because time zones are it's a bit crazy. So I was gonna have a few other people join, but they've got meetings and stuff and whatnot. So I think I'll try and spice up the times. Use DaVinci. Okay. I think that's free, I think. I know that I don't know about Drew and the other guys, what they're using for editing, but DaVinci's actually started to become quite popular for a lot of people getting into YouTube because it is free. So it means if they want to start, they can just jump in and get it happening. Whereas I've been using Final Cut Pro for a good 3 years now. Okay. All right. Any other questions, folks? Any other questions? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Because I'm happy to keep chatting. I have no problem chatting. You just need to tell me what you want to chat about. But other than that, we've completed the agenda for the stream. We've done the hour. That was my intent. Open shot. Oh, okay. So that one's Blackmagic design product. Oh, okay. And then OpenShot, is that software? Matt, is that software? I don't know. OpenShot. And then we've got Videorama. Okay, these are all new things that I'm learning. Okay. Interesting. That's a lot. I mean, I had no idea there's so many different software. So when I first started, I was using the GoPro editor, and then okay, and then I went to I went to iMovie, which was free. And then I went to Final Cut Pro, a dodgy copy, but then I finally got the real version because my dodgy copy wouldn't update anymore. So I got I paid the dollars and I realized it was an investment anyway. So it's well worth it. Okay. Oh, it looks like a lot of people use a lot of different stuff then, because I guess jumping from, if someone's using Adobe Premiere and then jumping to Final Cut Pro, or, I think, Matt, if you were to jump from OpenShot to something else now, it could be a bit of a challenge, just because you get a workflow and you get used to doing what you like to do. And I mean, I'm no pro when it comes to editing, that's for sure. And there's so many things I can learn and do better. But, I've got my workflow now. I know what works. I know how I want to do it. I've got my templates, and you can kind of just make it all work. But then when you change your complete software, you got to start scratch, and you can't just necessarily take the same workflow. So definitely something to consider. But I mean, if those things are free and they do all the stuff that you need, that's great. Because Matt, I mean, your videos are top notch, right? And you would never even know. Well, actually, to be honest, you would never be able to tell someone's, unless it's got like, powered by StreamYard, like you can see on mine. But a lot of the content these days, you can't tell that it's edited by so many different stuff. For me, I would just think your stuff's edited by the same stuff that ours is. So it just goes to show that, it doesn't matter what software you have. It's as long as you're just putting out the value content, I think it doesn't really matter at all. And you are putting out the value content. I'm seeing your comment come through now. You want to adjust to Premiere Pro. Okay. But like, yeah. It's a slippery slope, because you'll but look, I mean, you could always trial it, but you've got a cadence. You're putting out 3 videos a week. So if you're going to change that all of a sudden, it's going to be a huge uptick for you. You're going to have to, look, as I said, for me, I had to learn, and you have to do it on the fly. So you got to work out if it's worth your time and dollars as well. I can't convert to editing on a computer. Oh, you do it all on the phone? Oh, wow. Dude, that's crazy. You do all that stuff on the phone? What the heck? Okay. All right, Mr. Hotshot. That's really good, man. Dude, I can't even imagine doing my stuff on the phone. Good grief. You've got a lot of things moving around. You're doing a lot of cuts, and that's really good, man. Kudos. That's impressive. Gangster. Like, what the heck? You're just flexing big time. Whoa. Dude, you're winning the crowd, man. That's epic. I mean, I'm not shocked. I mean, I know other people that have done it, but it's just, it can't be that easy. Bought a GoPro, can't use the freaking thing. Jeepers. Is that because of your computer? You've been having a lot of computer problems. I know that. I think what you need to do, man, is you need to make a business investment, claim it on tax, and get yourself a savvy, nice laptop or something. My fingers. I'm the same. Jeepers, wow, dude, that's kudos, man. Good grief, that's not easy stuff. Good grief, that's good. I'm shocked. Oh, well, this has been great, guys. It's been really good. And look, 10 people watching, I can't complain. This is great. It's good to be able to have people jump in and have a chat. And hopefully people will, watch the replay and ask some questions as well. And, maybe if there is other things as I go through February that you want to see, do let me know. Hey, Chris, what's going? I'm just about to wrap up and you're jumping in. Every time I use a computer, I want to drop kick. Dude, you need to upgrade. You need to upgrade. It's now, if anyone actually, quick shout out to Chris. He's the podcast master as well. So, and I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, Chris, but I know you've actually you rent out a podcast studio. I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct. So you're the man when it comes to podcasts as well. So we were just chatting about that. I am planning to launch a podcast very soon. We actually had discussed about this a fair bit back and mentioned it, and it never happened. So it's interesting that you've just jumped in right now. And yes, I'm doing well, thank you very much, and I hope the same for you. I believe you are doing well from what I've seen. But yeah, good to have you, man. Thanks for jumping in. Chris actually did you were doing a live stream for, I think it was 30 days straight, where you did the what's it called, the Microsoft Flight Simulator, where you flew around the world doing live streams, right? And every day he just took off from the next location, which was super cool, super cool. So that was awesome, mate. You have it in Brunswick. Oh yeah, there you go. Small world. Nice, nice. Thanks, mate. Thanks for being here. Really do appreciate it. And looking forward to seeing that 10K what sold video, mate. Yeah, there could be definitely something I need to pick your brain with. I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, the good thing about podcasts is you can do it from home, but I want to get to a point where I can be doing, with guests and stuff, and I might want to pick your brain on that one. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, you did. You did yeah, that's cool, man. You did that. Oh, I didn't realize you raised $7,000. Jeepers. Well done. That's really good, Chris. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Thanks, Matt. No worries. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Sleep tight. No, Chris, that's really good. I'll have to hit you up, man, about the podcast stuff as well. And look, it's all early days at this point. I'll probably be doing a lot of soloing at first, and then I'll, starting to branch out. And to be honest, some of the guests that I want to have on are probably not local, so they'll be international. So I'll probably just be doing that online. But in the longer run, having a studio and I think doing a podcast and seeing and looking at each other makes a huge difference, because you can just play off each other a lot easier. So definitely something to think about. I appreciate that, Chris. That's well, you're the pro, so who else to ask? I mean, the only other real influence that I've been looking at around podcasts is, other than other people that I know that have podcasts, is Pat Flynn. I've always admired how he does his podcasts and stuff, and he's got lots of stuff around it, but it's quite overwhelming. He's got a lot of content and a lot of guide and a lot of stuff, but there's just a lot to think about. Whereas at the end of the day, I kind of probably just want to get to the point where I just want to start and just make it happen. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap up. I need to do something before I go to bed to myself. And I want to say thank you to everyone that dropped by. Thank you for being here. If you have made it to this far on the live stream or on the rewatch, greatly do appreciate it. Make sure you do give the video a like, because it does support the channel and help it out. And if you are new here and you've enjoyed this, and this is potentially something that you want to see more of, or some of the content that I've talked about, check out some of the videos, hit a subscription button and the notification bell, because that will remind you when my videos come out. And yeah, really do appreciate it. Great having you all here. Thanks, Drew, Sarah, really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to. I've kind of set it up now in terms of I've got to deliver, don't I? It's gonna. That's it, Chris. Totally agree. Like, you should just start. That's exactly true. Thanks, mate. Good to see you too. And yeah, we'll chat offline. I'll reach out to you. And thanks, mate. Really do appreciate you stopping by as well. It's good stuff. And yeah, I'll have to reach out to you on a few things too. This is good. I've connected with a lot of people. We've caught up, and it's been great. And Jeff as well. Yeah, man. It's really cool. It's really cool. All right. Thank you all very, very much. This is it. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do the whole shebang, and hustle. Ciao. Now I've got to end the stream.